Hey girl, hey, welcome back to the Slay Girl Slay podcast. How are you guys? Happy Monday. I hope all of your weeks are off to an amazing, beautiful start. I'm hoping you guys also had a great weekend this weekend. I spent my entire weekend working, but lately I've been trying to spend my Sundays doing absolutely nothing. I get up, either I tune into church on my TV because church is kind of far. The church that I attend out here in LA, it's kind of far from where I live. Or I just end up making the trip and then I just try to chill the rest of the day. I try to spend my Sundays literally on my couch, not opening up my computer or being on my phone. I try to stay completely unplugged and watch movies or catch up on my Netflix shows. Y'all know I love Netflix. I try to get in a little nap if I can. I always have a face mask on deck to wear on Sundays. Sundays are like my face mask days. And actually, I just recently found a new one that I love and it's super cheap. And it looks like I had a facial after every time I wear one. So love it. And my candle is lit. Y'all know I love my candles. And I just vibe completely out on Sundays. Lately, that's been setting the tone for me in my week, and just having that entire day to do nothing and think about absolutely nothing but what's on my TV and what's on my skin and ultimately what's going into my belly to eat that day. So I have been truly, truly enjoying my Sundays. Also, speaking of Netflix, we haven't talked about our Netflix recommendations in a minute. And for a while, y'all were blowing me up with your recommendations and it got quiet. So what are y'all out there watching? I will say that I am currently recommending Dark on Netflix. If you were a fan of Stranger Things, this is like the grown-up version of Stranger Things. I will say it's one of those shows you have to pay attention to. It's not something you can just have on in the background. You definitely have to sit down and watch it, but definitely worth the watch. Fair warning though, it is an English dubbed series. So I think the original show is in German or Swedish, but it still works. And I'm not even really about the English dub shows. I know it's probably not nice, but it still works. I really, really like it. So I haven't been on my Netflix game like I used to be. So I haven't seen the new Stranger Things yet, or I think Dear White People is out now, but I hear Mindhunter is coming out next week, which is super dope if you guys are into shows about crime, about true crime. Mindhunter is based off of real events. And again, someone recommended that to me. And now it's back after 2 years. So I'm giving y'all all my recommendations. So send me yours, even if it's on Hulu or HBO or whatever you guys are streaming on. Your girl has passwords, so let me know what I should be watching or what I should watch next so we can discuss and debrief on Instagram. Please know that I am not sponsored by Netflix whatsoever or any of these entertainment streaming services. I just really like some of the shows I watch and I always want to share it with someone I know. So if you guys enjoy it, definitely hit me up and of course share with me your recommendations. I recently had the chance to attend this really, really cool event out here in LA. It was a wellness summit that was put on by Create and Cultivate. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about them or have seen their amazing graphics online. We've definitely reposted some of their content on the Slay Girl Slay Instagram, but if you are unfamiliar, definitely look them up now, you guys. I had the pleasure of meeting Jacqueline Johnson, which is their founder and CEO, and instantly just wanted to invite her to the cookout and out for drinks with the girls because she was so humble and so sweet. And if you guys know of Create and Cultivate and Jacqueline, you'll know that she recently published her first book called Work Party, which in my opinion is the book that every entrepreneur needs to have. I've read the book twice now. Each time I'm learning something different. I'll have to link her book in the description. Again, this is not an ad. I'm truly just sharing something that I really love with you guys. But went to the Create and Cultivate Summit. and learned so much. We had a conversation before about conferences and Black women events and how some of them are perceived as scams. And if you haven't heard that episode, you must go back and listen. I am all for getting in the rooms that you feel like you need to be in to grow and get exposure in, especially conferences and brunches that are put on by women. Nobody understands us like we do. And this conference had tons of panels, tons of activities you could do in the event that you didn't want to just sit and watch panels all day. Guest speakers, food and snacks, and just nothing but take-home goodies. And I must say, I really enjoyed myself. So if Create and Cultivate is in your city or nearby, I definitely say go check them out. Don't just be confined to just going to the type of events that you're used to. Definitely get out there and get exposure and get in rooms, that are a bit different. I will say I was a bit nervous. I knew I might have been the only Black girl in the room, but when have I not been the only Black girl in the room? You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't let that hold me back and stop me from being in that room. There were a couple of us there though, and there was a mix of guest speakers that were women of color, which was amazing. But as I networked and as I met new people over the course of the entire day, everyone wanted to know who I was and what I did. And the first thing people would say after you introduce yourself and, you ask for their name, they would immediately say, "Oh, what's your name? What do you do? Are you on Instagram?" And it's so weird. And maybe it was weird for me, but I did not have the confidence to say boldly who I was and what I did. And every time I met someone new that day and they were like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Ashley. What do you do?" I just kind of shrugged my shoulders and saying, I have a business called Slay Girl Slay. I have a podcast. Are you on Instagram? Yeah. Let me type it in for you. I was being real funny acting, and I don't know how I feel about it, it's completely not my character at all. In person, I'm very animated and I talk with my hands sometimes, and I'm personable and I like to smile. But the minute someone would ask me about what I did, I felt myself back down. I felt myself revert back to this shy, timid girl I used to be when I was younger, and kind of dismissed my own work. I went home that night and I talked to my mom and my dad, of course, and I just could not wrap my head around why I can work my butt off creating this amazing, fearless, bold, unapologetic brand. But when asked about it from someone I didn't know, this amazing, fearless, bold, unapologetic brand became, "Oh, it's just a podcast. Oh, it's a company. Oh, it's just called Slay Girl Slay." Then I thought of all of us, right? I had that feeling that I always have when the light bulb goes off. And in my mind, I'm like, I can't be the only one that does this. I can't be the only one that gets shy and timid when talking about their business. I can't be the only one that just kind of shrugs off all the hard work I put into something I love. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, I went to Nashville, and at my hotel in the lobby, there's this white guy in the lobby on his laptop. And let me just set the scene for you. This guy is sitting on the couch, and he has these ratted jeans on. He has on these Jesus flip-flops. His shirt is real dingy looking, just looking a mess, to be quite honest with you. And I'm waiting for a few friends to come down because we're about to go to dinner. And he greets me as I'm just kind of sitting there. Nothing weird, right? He says hello. I say hello back. And we just kind of fall into this very general conversation. I don't know. We could have been talking about the weather like most people do. Then he starts to tell me about his business in Nashville. And he says he's there for a few meetings and then he's headed back home to Boston. So I ask, "Oh, what do you do?" I mean, without batting his eyelashes, y'all, he hit me with who he was, what he did, and why he did it, and spoke confidently like it was nothing. He ended up saying something to the effect of, I'm a CEO and I have this startup company that was founded 2 years ago. And y'all, honestly, I didn't even focus on what he was saying, but I was enamored with just how easy he said it. It was effortless. It was confident. It was bold. You could tell he wasn't worried about what I thought about his company. He wasn't worried if I had any questions about his startup. He said what he said, and that was it. I couldn't help but to think, how many of us would feel if we could just tap into the type of confidence a white man has? Now, no shade, no tea to any of the white guys out there. No shade, no tea. But I truly, truly believe because of the privilege that they are born with, which isn't just white privilege, but white male privilege, which is an entirely different ballgame, they navigate this world way differently than women, and especially women of color. So as I'm having this aha moment, I'm taking inventory of all the moments I watched a white man excel in his career in the places that I've worked, how his voice was heard over the female voices in the boardrooms I've sat in. We all know them or have met them at some point in our lives. My point is not to highlight their privilege, but to remind you that while, yes, you may not have had any sales yet, you can call yourself an entrepreneur. Yes, you may not have a single girl sitting in your salon yet. Call yourself a stylist. Call yourself a hairdresser. You may not be shooting celebrity clients, but call yourself a celebrity photographer if that's what you feel. Because y'all, John from Nashville don't care. Who knows if he really has a startup, right? Who knows how much John from Nashville makes? And quite frankly, who cares? John is going to let you know that he's a CEO of a startup he founded 2 years ago and look at you like you crazy because you didn't know about it. We have to stop second guessing who we are and how we are presenting ourselves in this world and stand with 2 feet firmly on the ground and tell people who we are without the fear of them, quote unquote, finding us out or thinking we're a fraud. Y'all are out there going to school to be lawyers and doctors. And when someone asks you who you are and what do, you say, oh, I'm going to school. Oh, I'm studying to be in the nursing field. No, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. Sit down and look at those goals you have for yourself and start claiming who you are, regardless of what stage you're at. Do y'all really think I asked John, oh, John, tell me, how much money did you make before you could call yourself a CEO? No. Oh, John, do you have your business license? Do you have your trademark? Are you really a startup? No. Boo, you have talent. You have gifts. There are things that only you can do in this world. And you are playing yourself down like it's not a big deal. You are a big deal, sis, a real big deal. Let's say you're a photographer, right? Not everyone can take pictures. Don't let Instagram fool y'all. Not everybody can take great pictures. It takes a good eye to capture someone and make them happy with how they see themselves in this photo. But you can have this talent. You can have these great things to take photos with, these amazing gadgets and great cameras. You can take these beautiful shots. But because you don't have a billion clients, because a lot of people don't know about you yet, when someone asks you what you do, you say, oh, I take pictures. Oh, I take pictures here and there. This one is for me because I had to check myself too. I can have this bomb brand, right, that I fully believe in, working on great content, creating community amongst women, continuously pushing out a positive narrative for our girls of color. There are over 50,000 of y'all listening to me right now. And all I could say was, oh, I have a podcast. Oh, I have a brand. It's called Slay Girl Slay. I played myself. We must tap into that confidence a white man walks around with every single day. Like nobody is going to check him. Like you're going to hear his voice regardless of who's talking in the room. I believe in my heart of hearts that us women, especially us women of color, have to start showing who we are to people the first time. We can't back down when people want to know about us. We can't disqualify ourselves or make up in our minds that just because we haven't reached a certain milestone in our careers, that we are not worthy of the title that comes with it. Y'all already know, but if you don't, the Bible says, call those things which are not as though they were. So if you have to be a CEO or creator and founder or app developer or restaurant owner, celebrity hairstylist, $1 million boutique owner, author, producer, actor, songwriter, content creator, girl, you do that. What helped me ultimately was going back home and sitting down and writing it out on paper, who I was, what I did, and why I did it. Almost like a pitch, right? Or some sort of mission statement. I'm practicing how to effectively pitch myself and present myself to people who may not know about me or what I do, so that when they ask, I don't play myself down. I did some Googling and YouTubing, of course, and got some high-level tips and tricks to effectively pitch yourself to someone you don't know and feel confident while doing so. It was hard at first, but after writing it out, sticking it on my fridge, and saying it out loud every day, it got much easier. I started feeling more confident. I was almost wanting someone to ask me who I was and what I did because I liked how it made me feel. I encourage you to write out your pitch, and you don't have to have a business to have a pitch. Most people that use pitches are pitching a business, but we have to learn how to not just pitch a business, but pitch ourselves. Who are you? What do you do? Why is it important? Tap into some of that white man confidence that John from Nashville had, that confidence that no matter what stage in life you're currently in, no matter what you look like, if you have a business or not, if you have a sale or not, if you are in school or not, whatever it is you want to be, you are. And you have to start telling people that. If you met a songwriter on the street who told you who she was and told you what songs that she wrote, are you going to ask her to sing them or play them for you? No. You're not going to fact check her. Are you going to ask her what qualifies her to be a songwriter? No. So stop thinking somebody else is going to do it to you. The last really big piece of all of this is you have to act the part. If you're an author, act like one. If you're a lawyer, act like one. If you're a CEO, act like one. Start walking, talking, and looking like the very thing you believe yourself as. On my plane, on my way back from Nashville, we were about to land, and I had to have a pep talk with myself. Just coming into LA, you recognize that there are a lot of people out here trying to make something of themselves. And although it may look like there are a lot of people that are successful here, to me, that's how I see it. That also doesn't mean that I'm not successful too. So I had to have a pep talk with myself before I got off the plane. Like, look here, before you get off this plane, sis, and get back to your regularly scheduled program, don't forget who you are and what you do and what you represent. Don't forget that you're out here with an entire empire under your belt. Don't forget your goals that you've already smashed. This girl sitting next to you don't even know just how blessed you are, but one day she just might find out. So act like it when you get off this plane and go home. So sis, I say this to you, wherever you are right now, wherever you're tuned in, I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, mother, sister, producer, photographer, stylist, boutique owner, influencer, blogger, content creator, whatever. You own that. You walk like that. You start approaching people with that confidence that white man has and start showing people just how dope you are. It's okay if they don't understand you at first. They will. It's okay if they look at you like they're confused. School is in session now, and they will get it. You have to show people who you are the first time and stop waiting on someone to buy something from you, someone to validate you, someone to give you a blue check next to your name on Instagram and call you important. Girl, bye. Again, no shade, no tea to white men, but you got to walk into a room like they do, like, who gonna check me, boo? You can no longer afford to be subtle about who you are, sis. There is nothing subtle about you. There is nothing subtle about you, your vision, or your plans. Like I had to have a pep talk with myself and check myself on that flight before I landed in LA. Check yourself before you go back home today, before you hit the gym, before you get back in your car or go back to class, and say out loud who you are. No shame. It's okay if you feel silly. Say it boldly. It took me a couple of times to get it right, and I had to practice it every day in my bathroom mirror. But once I got it, I got it. And can't nobody tell me otherwise. Stand up straight, boo. Stand up straight, shoulders back, and declare who you are and what you do, and leave nothing on the table, sis. This is your life, your dream, your goals, your plans, your visions, your hard work. And it's time you start acting like it. All right, my loves, that wraps us up for this week. I would much appreciate it if you guys would leave a comment in the comment section with your thoughts on the Slay Girl Slay podcast, and even more if you would subscribe. Send me an email with any topics or feedback on today's podcast, and you can always find us on Instagram and Facebook at Slay Girl Slay, or come visit us on our website at www.slaygirlslay.com. Until next week, we will chat soon, boo. Peace.